Welcome to the Queen's Lair, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast once again. This is another installment, and I just wanted to, I'm doing some more personal things, like talking about just like everyday situations and conversations that I've had with friends and family and stuff like that. I'm kind of delving into the more personal side of stuff because I just think that our lives are not always work. Our lives are not always, the grind. Sometimes, you have to get back into your personal time, your family time, that kind of thing. So I wanted to talk about not just family relationships, but more personal relationships. And that can include family, it can include friends, and so forth. And one of the things that I think has been a frustration for me is that if you are a person that shares, if you're a person that, you like to, share your life, you like to share what's happening with yourself. And sometimes when you are a person who shares, you will be around people who don't share. And one thing that you cannot do, and I've had to teach this to myself, is that you cannot get frustrated when people don't want to share. Now, that was always a thing for me because I am a giver. I am, come to my house, I'm cooking and, eat great food. I got a place for you to sleep. You can knock out on the couch, in the guest bedroom, whatever. I'm that person. But sometimes people just don't want that. Sometimes people just want to get and go, and you can't be mad at folks for doing what they do. And I think I've said this previously before. We often get upset at people when they don't do what we would do. But we have to remember that we are not them and they are not us. So we can't look at situations as people, I would never do that and I would never. That's part of the problem. So the problem isn't always the other person. Sometimes the issue is within ourselves. And this is what I've had to even learn for myself, is that I would always be like, well, I wouldn't have done that. Well, no, I would not have done that because I am Renee. And Renee might not do that. But that other person grew up differently than I did. That other person has a different perspective than I do. And it doesn't mean that the way that they do things is wrong. It just means that it's different than what I would do. Just like what they would do and the way they feel about something that I have done, or the procedure of how I've handled something, may not be what they have done. So we can't get upset at each other as people, as human beings, for, to see that somebody didn't do something the way we would have done it. People's circumstances and things that surround them every day cause them to be the way that they are. The way I grew up is the way I grew up, and I do things a certain way, honestly, sometimes just because that's all I've ever seen. Now there are some things that we unlearn because it may not have been positive for us, so we can unlearn certain things. But your environment dictates a great portion of your life, and sometimes if it's toxic and it wasn't the most positive, it's very hard to unlearn a lot of things, So I had to learn to get out of that. Some people don't want to share. Some people don't want to open up. Some people are just closed off. And to a certain extent, that's okay if that's what works for them. Whatever they're dealing with, even if it's to the point that it's it's detrimental to friendships or relationships, workships, whatever it is that you have going on. that is something that they have to deal with. It's not your job to rescue that person. It is not your job to draw the information out because it's better for them to talk. That's not your job to do that. Your job is to just be the friend, be the confidant, that when they are ready to open up and when they are ready to share, that you're there to listen, and let them know that the door is always open for when they are ready to be open, and that's really all you can do, because you will frustrate yourself over and over and over again when you try to draw information out of people. And that is something that I had to learn over the years. I was always the person that I just couldn't let it go. Like, well, what's going on? Talk to me. Let me know, and I learned over the years, I'm like, you know what? Whenever you're ready to talk, I'm here. And I have learned from that sometimes, most of the time, I'm not going to say sometimes, most of the time when you approach things that way, when you're dealing with a person who is more closed off or has their guard up, they will more than likely come around much faster when you just let them sort through it in their mind. Because some people are just in their head about things and they need to sort it out their way. And then when they're ready to talk, when they're ready to sit down and open up or whatever, just be there for them. Or if it is not for you to be the ear to listen, you can always direct them to therapy. We talk about therapy on this podcast all the time. I think therapy is amazing. Therapy works, and it's very effective to help you sort through things. I think people think going to therapy, they're supposed to give you the answers. No, therapy is not going to give you the answers. Therapy is going to lead you to the best solution. Okay, they train you how to navigate through your feelings and your emotions and seeing where the root causes of things are, and will help you navigate that path to the best decision or the best pathway to whatever it is that you're trying to navigate through, whether it is sadness or trauma or whatever it is that you may be dealing with that you're talking to your therapist about. They give you those navigational tools to arrive at the best solution that's going to work for you, right? So definitely don't be too hard on people when they don't open up. It can feel like very dismissive, and it can feel very closed off and like they have a wall up. And really, 99.9% of the time, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them and how they feel. They deal with many situations that way. So you just have to be patient, and you just have to be, I know it can be frustrating because it used to be so frustrating to me, but I have learned to just let it go, and that's just the name of the game. So that's all I have. I just felt like, it was on my spirit, and I feel like other people could use this word today. So we're going to keep it short. If you want to follow me on social media, please do like, share, subscribe to the podcast. I am doing daily podcasts now. This is a daily podcast. Who knew that there was so much to talk about? But anyway, my email address, if you want to email me, is hello@onyxqueenmedia.com, and connect with me on social media. Instagram is my most active, but I am at Onyx Queen Media across all socials. Bye, you guys. Online savings simplified. Don't search for coupon codes ever again. With one click, Honey's smart shopping assistant will automatically apply discounts to your cart in seconds. Save on all your favorite things. Easily pay less for products you're already buying online. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Join Honey for free. It takes 2 clicks to add Honey to your Chrome, Safari, Firefox, or Opera browser. Find savings in seconds. While you shop, Honey will find working promo codes across the entire internet, and you save instantly. With one click, Honey will apply the best deals to your cart. It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? Get Honey. Download it today. Visit our link, www.tinyurl.com/ONYXHONEY. That's www.tinyurl.com/Onyx Honey. Start saving right now.